Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Take the Night, a thriller movie about a guy who hires some kidnappers for his brother's birthday party, and it all goes wrong. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 8. I will be at the Flemington Summer Book Fest this Sunday. That's Memorial Day weekend. This Sunday. I think it's from like 10 to 5, 10 to 6, something like that. Come on up to Flemington, New Jersey. I don't get up north very often. Come check me out. All right. So, I'm not so sure about this movie. The premise is this guy hires some dudes to kidnap his brother for his birthday to kind of shake things up in kind of a fun way. But it turns out the guys he hires are actual criminals, and they kidnap him to steal his money. They steal his Bitcoin, they rob his safe, and then I guess they try to get revenge. He like escapes halfway through, and then I don't know, it's a little vague. It then gets into music montage mode, and it's like dun, 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 like I'm supposed to know what's happening, and I don't quite know what's happening. So the guys, it doesn't make any sense, okay? But let's see who this is written by. Written and directed by Seth Mateague. Okay. Starring Seth Mateague. Okay. Respect that you're directing, starring, and writing your own movie. However, there's a problem with it. As I see it, this is going to be a very tough movie to make. Because, okay, so you got to assume that the guys, I'm going to guess that that's Seth. You got to assume, and he's the guy who gets hired, right? So you got to assume that the guys who hire you to kidnap the brother know you. Okay? Know you well enough to do this. Right? Because you're not going to hire, I mean, you want to hire, I guess, strangers to do this. But you don't want to hire actual criminals. Right? I mean, like, if I were to pull this joke on my brother, first off, I wouldn't do it. Because I know my brother. And in this day and age, if he did it to me, somebody could get hurt. I mean, somebody could get seriously hurt. You came up on me and tried to kidnap me as a joke. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. I could end up pushing one of the kidnappers into traffic to try to get away. Yeah, I mean, think how that would play out, right? You confront me on the street. I get a little ahead of the van, let's say. You jump out to kidnap me, and you think it's going to go down easy because at first I'm a little stunned, and then there's cars coming back and forth, and I just push one of the guys right in front of a car, and he dies. Well, that'll put the damper on things, right? Because I thought I was being kidnapped. I'm going to fight for my life. So this is a really dumb plan, but okay, let's say for a moment that these guys are, for whatever reason, the guy who hires these guys, Seth, knows that these guys know what they're doing. They'll have control. They'll get them in as they do in the trailer, they get them in a parking garage. Okay. That the scenario I just described can't happen. Something like that can't really happen. They know he's unarmed. They know he's, that this will go down fine, because they'll bring, fake guns, right? If you pulled a fake gun on me and it looked real enough, I suppose I'd be like, oh wait, I'm not going to push out in traffic. I'm just going to go along with it because whatever. There's still another problem. Okay, so this is the big turnaround. The big turnaround is Seth and his crew rob these guys. Okay, so you do that. Let's say you kidnap me because you're going to rob the poorest guy in South Jersey. You kidnap me and you successfully rob me. Now what? First off, in the trailer, the guy who gets kidnapped gets away. So that's problem one. But let's say it looks like the thieves still get away. Okay, they get away. We know who they are. The guy who hired you for the kidnapping knows you. And I assume knows you rather well. Or else why would he hire you? He knows you at least well enough. He probably knows your name and where you live and how to get a hold of you. Certainly enough for the police to find you. So you're going to have the police on your back, like almost immediately, if not sooner. Like, and under what scenario does the guy go, oh well, he robbed us. I didn't expect that. Puh. Like, that just doesn't happen. Okay? So, first act, the guy decides to shake up his brother on his birthday, hires Seth and his crew to do it. They decide to flip the script. They kidnap him. And they rob his house. Second act, he gets away midway in the robbery. However, the Seth and his crew get away anyway with all this cash. I guess since Seth was planning to do this, he has some avenue to cut off all contact with the guy who hired him somehow. So maybe he gave him a fake address. Maybe this guy is stupid enough to hire somebody he didn't know that well. Okay, let's say that's the case. Well, now the cops are after you, because why wouldn't the guys who hired you call the cops immediately? And the cops are in the trailer, so I assume the cops are coming. All right, now you have the cops after you, literally right after a robbery, like not even 24 hours. And there's security footage of you kidnapping a guy, which is a very serious crime, by the way. I mean, the robbery's bad enough. Kidnapping, I believe, rates higher. And he knows who you are. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now you got to get basically out of the country with your money forever, because you are being wanted for kidnapping and robbery. And you got a bunch of guys that you got to pay off too, because they didn't do it alone. I think there's at least 4 guys in the trailer. So now it's what exactly? So maybe you could argue that, you know, the main characters who hire Seth can't be criminals, because criminals, even if they played this practical joke, they'd have loyal guys to do it. And they'd really know who you were. And then they'd show up and kill you for robbing them. So that's off the table. If that's the case, then you've really effed the screenplay, in my view. Just my view. Okay, so assuming that they're legitimate business people who rented some thugs for kidnapping, you know, how would they not find you? How would they be that clueless? So, I guess the second act, they're trying to hunt down the guys who Seth and his crew committed the robbery. And the third act, what do they confront them on their own? It appears to be the brother confronts a guy and then gets shot, or is going to be shot, and the brother's like, no! I mean, there's some drama there, but the whole setup doesn't work for me. I mean, look, 100% respect for writing and directing your own thing. 100%. And acting. It's not easy. But I'm not seeing how this plot could possibly work. How could these guys possibly think they would get away with this? They would have been better off just robbing the guy, right? Just robbing him, just showing up one night and robbing him, because at least they wouldn't have been hired by the brother to kidnap him, unless there's some crucial reason why they had to get him out of his apartment, and he's never gone from his apartment. It's pretty easy to figure out when are people gone. You just watch their house and their apartment until, you know, write down when they come and go for a few weeks until you get their pattern of behavior. And that's what criminals do, by the way. It's called casing a joint, as they say. You case the place. Ideally, you go inside, but if you can't, you loiter outside and you watch. You observe, see what happens. You look for an opportunity. So, how could these guys possibly get away with this, is my question. I don't see it. Now, maybe I'm picking apart the trailer a little too much, you could say. It's what I do. But, I mean, I think my logic is pretty flawless in this. Under what circumstances could a guy hired by a friend, brother, to kidnap his brother for a surprise party manage to rob him and be able to get away with that, at least for long enough to get away with the crime? Like, under what circumstances could that totally work out for the thieves? All right? So you hire me to kidnap your brother, I kidnap him, but then I rob you instead, or rob the brother, I'm not sure which. Okay. What's the best possible scenario there for me, the kidnapper? Was I planning on killing the brother? That seems an awfully high escalation. Okay, let's say I was going to kill him. I still got a guy who witnessed the whole thing. He hired me to kidnap him. What am I supposed to say then to the cops? I guess I could tell him, well, the brother hired me to kidnap and kill him and rob him. But it's still a crime. I'm still going to jail. So the brother's not going to let me go. Let's say it goes 100% right. I kidnap him. We rob the place. We kill him. There's no witnesses. The brother still knows who kidnapped him. There's security footage. It's in the trailer. Look, I really support indie movies. I would love to just say this is awesome. I don't know what else to say. The plot doesn't work for me. Now maybe I got an aspect of this wrong somehow. I mean, I'll say the positives. The positives are music's solid, the cast is solid, the look is solid, everything else is solid about this movie, but the story, how could this work? I don't understand. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain it to me. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. We got a Hollywoke hot take and a news blast. We'll see you in the next one.